sustainable development has found its way into the minds of Chinese people, but practicing the concept in daily life varies geographically according to local income conditions. Imbalance remains a major issue. Behind a series of remarkable data lie difficult problems unknown to the world and expected to be solved through development. For thousands of years, due to an unstable monsoon climate, meteorological disasters of various types have plagued the Chinese soil every year to varying degrees and coverage. China has a vast territory, but its arable land accounts for only 7% of the global total. Even so, the country has managed to feed 19% of the world's population. China is the world's second largest economy, but according to the latest standards for poverty classifications, 2,300 yuan per capita net income in rural areas annually, 122 million Chinese people still live in poverty. China is the only nation in the world with an aging population of more than 100 million. Although a social security system covering all the citizens has been established, it remains pedestrian compared to other major developing countries. To fundamentally put an end to the complex imbalance, in 2003, the Chinese government promulgated the concept of scientific outlook on development, which puts people first as its core, comprehensive, balanced and sustainable development as its basic requirement, and overall consideration as its fundamental approach. Targeted at a moderate prosperous society that allows all the citizens to share in the achievements of economic growth, it has become a solution guiding the country's current and future development. Guangdong is one of the world's major manufacturing bases, and its GDP has surpassed the four Asian tigers, namely Singapore, South Korea, Hong Kong and Taiwan. However, the province is one of China's leading areas with a widening wealth gap.
就是说三餐都比较困难，可以是这样说。如果是喝那个粥的话呢，就不会饿。
Beginning in 2010, the provincial government of Guangdong implemented a one-to-one assistance program which enables the rich to help the needy so as to solve the problem of unbalanced development between different regions, eliminate absolute poverty, and explore new trails to common prosperity.
农民很现实，他要看到希望。你老说你勤奋点啊，你别这么懒啊，他看不到希望啊。
Poverty itself is not terrifying, but it would be horrible to lose one's hope for the future. Xie Wenqing noticed that Dafu village is located in an alpine mountain area where vegetables require a longer growth period and few insect pests ensure good taste and organic quality. He consulted vegetable sellers and encouraged villagers to establish small vegetable bases. Through a new mode that involves companies, bases and farming households, the vegetables are distributed in central cities. The farmers' labor was duly rewarded in market, and the formerly impoverished Dafu village eventually captured a fair share of wealth. Each day, Liao Caibing spent nearly 10 hours on his vegetable farm.
就是说我做一年，这样做下去了，起码有原来的4、5年的收入。 给我们也已经看到了希望。
After the visible hand of government was combined with the invisible hand of the market, the positive interaction between the wealthy and impoverished regions opened a window to poverty alleviation with Chinese characteristics. As of 2010, China has realized all of the goals stated in the Outline for Poverty Reduction and Development of China's Rural Areas 2001 to 2010, including promoting the development of impoverished regions, improving the living quality and education level of the low-income population, improving infrastructure in impoverished rural areas, and bettering the ecological environment. China thus became the first nation in the world to have realized ahead of schedule the goal of cutting its poverty-stricken population by half, as listed in the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. In 2007, the Chinese government decided to establish a rural subsistence allowance system throughout the rural areas. The proportion of poverty-stricken people in the total rural population decreased from 10.2% in 2000 to 2.8% in 2010. And the figure dropped from 24.3% in 2002 to 8.3% in 2010 in 592 key counties under the National Development-Oriented Poverty Reduction Programs. In China, the majority of the poor population lives in regions afflicted with adverse natural conditions, facing various problems to be addressed. Realizing green, sustainable development, along with poverty elimination, raise challenges for the existing knowledge system and development mode. Mingin County in northwest China's Gansu province straddles the end of an inland river surrounded by desert in 3 directions. Over the past 3 decades, the increasingly deteriorated water environment has aggravated soil erosion and desertification. Encroaching sand dunes have eaten up tens of thousands of hectares of arable land in the county, forcing a great number of farmers to migrate elsewhere and leaving Mingin as one of the most seriously affected areas by desertification.
哎呀，历来这个当确实是这个荒凉，种庄稼呢种不成啊，人呢这个当不能生存啊，有些人呢这个去跑到外面了。
Since 2007, the government has invested more than 4 billion yuan in controlling desertification and rebuilding the ecological system of Mingin. Some 60,000 farmers living along the edge of desert have become workers engaged in desertification control. The local population's industrial transfer and the government's eco-environmental subsidy have contributed to the prevention and control of desertification. Water consumption has decreased by 2/3, and the output benefits of water resources have increased by 50%. Industrial restructuring with grass and animal husbandry as the leading sector enabled villagers to shake off poverty quickly. Average household income has exceeded 20,000 yuan. From 1999 to 2010, China implemented the campaign of returning cultivated land to forests. With an accumulated investment of 295 billion yuan, a total of 9.264 million hectares of farmland were converted back into forest. More than 16.7 million hectares of barren mountains and wasteland were afforested, and 2.467 million hectares of mountainous areas were sealed off to facilitate afforestation. Some 124 million farmers in 25 provincial areas across the country have benefited from the project. The project to return cultivated land to forests not only benefits ecosystem improvement, improving farmers' income, agricultural efficiency and countryside development, it has also become one of China's key measures to address global climate change and realize green growth. Ruke village on the banks of the Lapu River in Weisi County, Yunnan Province, lies against mountains and faces green waters. Today, visitors to the village can barely find the former scene of kitchen smoke curling up to the skies. Instead, methane ponds, which are available to each household, along with sanitary toilets and domestic animal houses, are commonplace here as part of the village's environmentally friendly lifestyles.
现在做饭炒菜都不用烧柴，照米不用花电费，既省钱又省力。
Adjacent to Samage Nature Reserve, a habitat for the Yunnan snub-nosed monkey, Ruke village lies at the core area of Shangri-La Yunnan Snub-nosed Monkey National Park. Here, the alpine fir forest features a long growth cycle, so it is extremely difficult for the local ecosystem to recover if it is destroyed. To conserve the eco-environment that the snub-nosed monkeys have inhabited for ages, it is crucial to change villagers' tradition of cutting down trees for their daily needs. In 2005, the government began to implement an alternative energy program in all villages surrounding the nature reserve, equipping each household with a methane pond. In Ruke, the villagers pleasantly welcomed such a change.
我们算过一笔账，过去家里面呢，要说6吨多的这个木柴，一年有60多天的这个时间呢，要上山去砍柴。灶台上的家务也很辛苦，用了沼气以后呢，女人们也轻松多了，家里的这个开销那些呢也节省了不少。
While carrying out the alternative energy program, the government also provided beekeeping, feed processing, veterinary technology and other skill training for villagers. Experienced hunters became forest rangers. Forest vegetation recovery and basic elimination of poaching have resulted in a spike in the population of snub-nosed monkeys in Samage Nature Reserve, from 200 in the 1990s to more than 500 at present, 1/4 of the total population of the endangered species. Over the past decade, China launched a natural forest resource conservation program, developing strategies to shift forestry focus from timber production to ecological rehabilitation. The program has afforested an area of 8.32 million hectares, effectively conserved 104.86 million hectares of forest, reduced the logging of timber by 220 million cubic meters, and increased forest area by 10 million hectares, forest coverage by 3.7 percentage points, and forest stock by 725 million cubic meters. The country's ecological environment has been improved continuously. This is an event which is part of the ongoing 1,000 environment-friendly youth ambassadors action. A total of 1,000 young volunteers from across the country gathered to receive training in environmental protection concepts and skills. Afterwards, each of them will take action to push at least 1,000 more people to join the program. Beginning in 2009, each year saw millions of young Chinese people throwing themselves into sustainable development campaigns. The concepts of green, low carbon, environmental protection and sustainable development are spreading throughout Chinese society in an approachable, tangible fashion. China had set goals for the implementation of its sustainable development strategy in the 10 years that follow to slow down population growth, improve population quality, boost livelihood considerably, develop resources and energy in a more reasonable manner, and improve the ecological state, environmental quality and sustainable development capacity so as to establish a resource-conserving, environment-friendly green system for its national economy. Chinese citizens are more than ready to devote wisdom and action to these goals, which not only testify to Chinese people's wish for a beautiful life, but also embody their contributions to an eternally beautiful home for all of humanity.